I gotta do something about music. I'll give that a shot, see how I feel with it. I met her in a small town bar not far from home. I do know this song. Oh, go home. I think Tommy Walmer used to sing this. So, I've never not been nervous enough to just give in, to trust the process, to not worry about tomorrow because tomorrow shall take care of itself. I am committing for at least the month of March. I will make no promises beyond that at this time, that I am going to commit no matter how hard it is on me, no matter what throws off the system and stressful it may get along the way. Ding. And see how it all plays out. It is, I gotta say, it's kind of nice. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Let's see. The Chalet. So you should know that all of these thoughts are all from this morning. Every one of them. And it was like this total stream of consciousness. It was just one thing into another and wrapping around, and which I found kind of interesting because before I did my devotion and rituals, I saged, and the sage went wild, like right here. So anyway, I was thinking about my life in general, just kind of stepping back, and I had this thought like, am I ashamed or embarrassed or feeling low because of where my life has me right this moment, living here? Fuck no. I mean, first of all, the alternative would be living in Artemis. And though I like Artemis and she's comfortable enough and I have slept in her, living out of her would be a whole different thing. Nonetheless, I'm sheltered from the storms. I have food and clothing and comfort. I'm not suffering. I don't feel any lack in my life at the moment. And so then I thought, the truth of the matter is, like, this isn't a bad thing. This is a blessing. This is a gift. This happening and taking place, this is God saying, hey, I understand that shit's kind of sucky at the moment, and I'm sorry about that. But if you just kind of stick with it and keep the old chin up, you'll see it's all going to be okay. Here, I hope this helps along the way. And it does. And it's nice because though it's not like luxury accommodations by any stretch of the imagination, like I say, I am comfortable enough. My life is not hurting anyone. I'm not an imposition on anyone or a drain. There were times in my life when I was. Stories, oh stories, how many stories can we tell? And that sucked because that always weighed on me. But I'm paying my own shit, taking care of my business. I'm not in anybody's way. I'm not interfering with anybody's life or way of being. The most imposition I cause is when I go in like once a week for a shower. I'm paying for electric, not just mine, but anything Cuddlebug and Pico might be using up. Because my mother should not have to take the brunt of that. I'm making small, but what I consider noticeable of improvements in my life across the board. And it's all because of this. I cannot say that living in Artemis, I'd be able to pull off everything I've done so far, which may not seem like a lot to you, but in fact, that's part of the story. If you've been following along for a while, you've heard me say that my life is victim to this recurring and seemingly ongoing cycle of, hold on, I gotta do something here. What the, you dumb son of a bitch? I was gonna say I was not thinking, but I'm fairly certain that's obvious. That there was a point to that. Give me a second. Believe it or not. There was a point to that. But it's kind of true. Like, I don't know when and where I could find the starting point to make it fair, but first trip, my death, that was kind of a restart point from nothing moving upward. Then the second trip kind of did the same thing. And then really kind of Mama and the Girls, that was a whole reboot of life in many ways, and starting from nowhere. Prison, the cave-in, homelessness, like it's just, some of it was self-inflicted. A lot of it was just life. Perfect example is my current journey. Like, dude, twice in 1 year, I had to completely restart from zero, build up. Twice. Both times. Not by any of my doing. And both times I worked hard to get to rebuilding. So the stroke, which took me out for like 6 months, it was 6 months before I was functioning in my life again. And I no sooner started getting back on my feet for that, the eviction thing started happening, and then it was a big move. And by the time all was said and done, and we did the moving day and I moved out, I had nothing. There weren't funds. That was a rough week. I was scrimping and saving and scrounging for a while until I got a first paycheck from the theater. And if you want to take it like a step further, you could say the whole trip, because all of my busting ass for 3 months was focused on making that trip happen, and it happened, went south, but it happened. And it basically, that coupled with the oral surgery brought me back down to a zero starting point, and I've been fighting my way through it ever since. So I'm constantly starting over. The moral of that story, how I got there, was the thought about being in here. And really, for being in here, and the fact that I am once again starting over from, I'm not doing too bad at the moment. But I can be born. Alright, I don't want to F around too long. I got stuff to do. And I can be bad out if I don't get caught.